everybody and welcome to Selfcoachinguk. I welcome you to a presentation on the Biopsychosocial Approach to Mastering Anxiety. This presentation has been developed from the Biopsychosocial Anxiety course from the website selfcoachinguk.co.uk, which I highly recommend if you are somebody who is serious about your own self-development and overcoming anxiety and your daily anxious symptoms. This presentation gives you a small but insightful look at the course content. However, the course itself is massive and it's jam-packed with the best strategies, interventions and descriptive knowledge in overcoming anxiety. So with all that being said, welcome, my name is Sam and let's get started. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a summary of the presentation so you know what to expect and what topics will be covered today. I will also add a time for each section and put that in the bio so you can skip to which section is most relevant to you. So first, we will start with an introduction to anxiety. Then we will look at the biological mechanisms, the psychological mind, environmental influences, and then we will round up the presentation with the key take-home points and interventions to help you to start overcoming your anxiety today. The two interventions that I'm going to teach you are simple, easy to implement into your lifestyle, yet have a profound impact in decreasing anxious symptoms and moving you forward in self-development. But don't worry, I'm not going to overwhelm you with complex talk or strategies because I want you to succeed. And the psychological literature has shown that small chunking steps executed well is the most correlated strategy with long-term healing and recovery in anxiety and depression. So let's get started and move on to the first section. Welcome to the introduction of anxiety. The goal in this section is to teach you the necessary skills to give you the most up-to-date knowledge on how anxiety affects you individually, so you can live a happier and more fulfilled life, rather than living with overwhelming feelings of dread, worry and fear. As we now know, anxiety is one of the most common psychological disorders throughout the world. The most up-to-date statistics by the World Health Organization has reported that over 8.2 million cases of anxiety was reported in the UK alone. And yes, everybody worries and feels nervous from time to time, and anxious symptoms have shown to be a normal reaction to stressful events. However, for some people, anxiety is not temporary and can persist and get worse over time. Anxiety disorders have shown to clearly affect a person's day-to-day functioning, such as a person's health, financial security, school, work, social situations, and so on. Also, this then interferes with a person's relationships within their family, community, friends, and partner. Therefore, one of the main strategies people develop is to avoid negative situations, thoughts and experiences. Unfortunately, avoidance behaviour has shown to backfire and actually feed and make the anxiety symptoms much worse than when they started. Furthermore, anxiety is associated with other physical symptoms such as rapid heartbeat, high blood pressure, difficulties breathing, sleep deprivation, and the list goes on, as it's very different for everybody. Fortunately, there are some super effective treatments available to help decrease anxiety, and some will be discussed in this presentation, and a lot more will be covered in the course if you choose to check that out later. Also, if you sign up for my email list, you will receive up-to-date psychological tips and new course release dates. There are many theoretical accounts for what causes anxious symptoms, stemming from the biological, psychological and environmental influences. Therefore, it's important for you to have a strong knowledge and understanding of each discipline mentioned above to gain a collective view on how anxiety works for you. Also, having a collective view will allow you to further understand how anxiety affects you individually. This gives you the internal foundations needed to start implementing new lifelong personal strategies based on what works best for you and your needs. The great news is anxiety disorders are very treatable. Therefore, this presentation will analyse and discuss the biopsychosocial approach when suffering from anxiety. Two of the best interventions today that are helping anxious people overcome their difficulties and how we can implement them into your life. Furthermore, the course will also be dedicated in helping you understand how personal development, regular exercise, food and nutrients, strategic thinking and planning, conscious awareness, CBT, self-talk and so much more can help you overcome your anxiety and your negative thought patterns to allow you to develop and heal. This will help guarantee success in becoming closer to a more fulfilled and happier you. So let's get started. Okay everybody, welcome to the biological approach to anxiety section. We will first explore how biological processes interact and develop throughout the mind and body and how they function when influenced by anxiety. However, to understand anxiety and how it affects you, we must first learn to explore the biological system and what starts anxiety in the first place. Any form of anxiety, whether it's minor or major, will first activate a section of the brain called the amygdala. This is commonly known as the fight or flight response, which can mobilise your body to perceived threats, whether they are present, past or future thoughts. Although your thoughts are something you have control over, therefore you can start to challenge and change your negative thought patterns to help you decrease your anxious symptoms, which we will look at this presentation and in more depth in the course. Furthermore, this can help you decrease a number of difficult and unpleasant physical symptoms, such as redness to the face, physical sweats, fast pulse, panic sensations, shallow breathing, chest pains, withdrawal behaviour, headaches, sleep disturbance, subconscious muscle tension, and so on. The fight or flight response is based on adrenaline, the hormone of fear. Adrenaline works by prioritising the blood supply, making sure that oxidated blood is available in the arms and legs for a quick getaway, basically helping you make split-second decisions. The blood supply is taken from areas of the body where it is not needed in times of danger, including the stomach and sexual organs, because if one is in a life-threatening situation, it's safe to say that one is not thinking of food or reproduction. Therefore, the body can act inappropriately to stress and uncertainty of everyday life. But remember, whether your thoughts are based on reality or not, both can still trigger stress hormones and the amygdala. And the adrenaline process will be unnecessarily activated, resulting in the stress response taking over and contributing to more anxiety and panic. From this, secondary fears can also develop, such as worrying about worrying and fears of physical issues caused by anxiety being obvious to other people. The unpleasant bodily problems of anxiety and panic can then be feared as much as or even greater than the situation or thought that triggered the response in the first place. Now your anxiety has doubled with a level of worry and fear and is now affecting the rest of your life. This situation puts a strain on the mind and body, affecting your emotional and physical health. And if continued, it can lead to severe anxiety, depression, sleep deprivation, isolation and loneliness. And now the vicious circle continues to develop and grow. In this type of situation, it is important for you to break the vicious cycle of fear and stress and learn to manage your anxiety by bringing your thoughts under control. This can be achieved by using diaphragmatic and box breathing meditation. which can be accessed on my YouTube channel for free under the Anxiety Course video playlist. For example, when your anxiety starts to develop, one of the first changes in the body is between the oxygen and the carbon dioxide. We breathe in oxygen and release carbon dioxide throughout the body. When this process becomes unbalanced due to overactive thoughts, making us feel fear, the body starts to send out stress signals. By using diaphragmatic and box breathing meditation technique, we can bring this under control before it starts to form a panic attack. To do this, you can use the box breathing technique to teach yourself to focus on your breathing and to bring you away from your negative thoughts that are triggering the stress hormones. And then, secondly, you can use the diaphragmatic breathing to teach you to bring your breath back down into the abdominal area, which is associated with dreaming or daydream state, rather than short, quick breaths in the chest area, which is associated with anxiety. By doing this for a few moments can rebalance the body and calm down the signals that provoke the amygdala, which in turn further allows you to take control and minimize your physical symptoms and stop the development of the thought cycle, such as worrying about worrying. Okay, so to learn this technique on how to do the diaphragmatic and box breathing, again, you can find a full tutorial video on my YouTube channel in the Anxiety Course playlist, and I will also drop the link in the bio. And also remember, what you learned today is the tip of the iceberg. There are many other strategies and techniques that we can be using to minimize your anxiety biologically, psychologically, and socially. And therefore, I do recommend that you check out the Biopsychosocial Approach to Mastering Anxiety course. It's selfcoachinguk.co.uk. There is also a sample lesson that you can check out before you buy. But if you are really serious about overcoming anxiety, then I would highly recommend this course to you. It's an all-round course that teaches you everything you need to know about anxiety and how it affects you from a collective perspective. Okay, so now you have learned your first intervention into helping you minimize your biological symptoms and to bring your body back to calm, relaxed state. Now let's move on to the next section, which is the psychological approach to anxiety. Okay, everybody, so welcome to the psychological mind section. What is psychology and how does it help us overcome anxiety? The field of psychology aims to study the human mind with its complex and mysterious nature. Even if we were able to look inside the skull of a human being to observe the brain, as a psychologist, this would give us virtually nothing, because it does not allow us to explore a person's thoughts, emotions, memories, perceptions, and dreams. Therefore, this makes the mind one of the most complex objects on the planet. In fact, the psychological approach is similar to a physician's role. For example, a physician is interested in the structure of atoms. However, these atoms cannot always be fully observed. Therefore, the physician aims to try and predict how these elements work together and behave, by using different experiments to confirm or challenge the outcome. This approach is similar to the way a psychologist would observe the human mind, body, and behaviour. This strategy helps both the client and the psychologist understand the workings of the mind that we cannot fully and directly observe, because everything you feel, think, and say is determined by your own personal experience. Therefore, it is important to take a person's individual, raw data and personally adapt the psychological technique to suit that person for the best possible outcome. And to be honest, you could probably do that better than anyone else, because you know yourself best. So the main thing that I feel that as a psychologist I can do for you is pass on the most up-to-date techniques, explain the best way that you can implement them properly, and then for you to choose what works best for you. And finally, another important part is to help and support you emotionally through your journey of inner self-development. And that's what I hope this presentation and the courses do for you. However, this presentation and any other courses on the Selfcoaching UK website is by no means a replacement for any other professional medical help you are receiving. Therefore, you should always continue to get professional medical help if needed. Okay, so let's move on to the second stage, which is the observational technique. Because everything starts by observing and gaining knowledge. For example, by observing and exploring your own thoughts, emotions and behaviours, you can start to develop an understanding of your own inner dialogue. Therefore, allowing the healing process to start with an understanding of the individual's psychological blocks, which over time has shown to support long-term recovery. To become more observational and to gain better observational skills in your own life, first you must become consciously present. The more present you are in your own life, the more you are able to observe what affects you. However, if you are someone who always lives on autopilot, becoming observant can be quite a hard task to do at first. But don't worry, I have already thought of this, and that's why I brought in the diaphragmatic and box breathing meditation. Because the box breathing, which teaches you to focus on your breath in the present moment, will help you train your conscious awareness each time you perform the meditation. That's why it's important that you do the diaphragmatic and box breathing technique each day. Not only does it help your body calm and reduce psychological and physical symptoms of anxiety, but it also teaches you to be in the here and now. Also, another excellent technique that you can use to keep you focused on the present moment throughout your day is journaling. You can start this process by setting yourself one small task each day. For example, you can monitor how you felt when you first woke up, how you felt by lunchtime, then how you felt by dinner time, and finally how you felt by bedtime. This allows you to monitor your emotions throughout the day and to see what sort of thoughts, people or environments are influencing your emotions from a negative or positive perspective. This further allows you to observe if any patterns develop throughout your week that affects you negatively, and that's where you start to make your own personal development changes. You can use the observational process as an internal compass to guide you internally to areas that you need to work on. If you want to learn more about the observational process and other interventions that can help you overcome your anxiety and worry, then again, I would definitely recommend that you check out the Biopsychosocial Approach to Mastering Anxiety course from selfcoachinguk.co.uk, where many other topics such as cognitive functioning, habit formations, psychological interventions for the feeling of worry. We look at subjects like why can't I stop worrying? Then we do strategic planning when dealing with anxiety and worry. We use action plans and the chunking method, and we use these to put things into action. The psychological strategy to minimise negative thoughts is something that we really delve into in depth. Also, there are some questionnaires that you can use which allow you to challenge your thoughts to see if they are that they can be logically justified, and to further understand and explore where these thoughts are coming from, and so much more. Okay, so that was a little bit about psychological processes when dealing with anxiety. Now we will move on to the next section and the final section, which is all about environmental factors. Okay, for the next section, we will now explore environmental influences. Over many years of studying evolution, Human development research has shown that since early times in human life, human beings have innate psychological mechanisms that make us sensitive to our surroundings. These mechanisms give us the ability to develop conscious awareness. This then allows us to seek out environments with certain types of qualities. A collective quality that has been observed and reported within the scientific literature is the drive to have a strong, loving, safe and secure environment that is psychologically rewarding to us because it offers us familiarity, social and healthy interactions, and positive reinforcement when experiencing our day-to-day life. So much so that these types of environments are very well known and developed within the business, clinical and health industries. These environments try to provide an atmosphere that creates a positive experience by offering 3 important attributes: comfort, safety, development. These attributes also show to be equally important in minimising anxiety in everyday life. Therefore, it is crucial for you to understand the type of environment you are living in, because your environment can either support you or discourage you from interacting with yourself and others. Therefore, making environmental influences and the effects on anxiety a key component to overcoming your anxious symptoms long term. Environmental factors become a problem when it involves issues such as toxic relationships, unsettled work life, stigma, violence and bullying, abuse, poverty and a lack of social and family support. Therefore, research has demonstrated that a large percentage of anxiety comes from a person's environment and social interaction. That further influences biological and psychological responses that has clearly contributed to the development of long-term symptoms. Furthermore, different external experiences from childhood, such as physical or mental hardship, including neglect, abandonment, isolation, loss and family breakdowns, have also shown to contribute and be a reliable predictor in long-term anxious symptoms. When we experience hard times that leave us feeling humiliated, unappreciated, apprehensive and uncertain to trust other people, it is completely understandable that we then develop anxious feelings in different situations in the future. One reason for this may stem from an anxious person having difficulty correctly interpreting the threatening situation or thoughts. This topic is further discussed in depth within the course. However, for today, you can start by making notes from your journal to help you realistically explore in depth whether you live in a positive or negative environment, rather than making assumptions based on past experience. You can also start to make a comparison list, and by doing this will allow you to work out which interventions work best for you and to implement into your life daily. And overall, this will give you a personal starting point to where your self-development can begin. So now you have a personal starting point of internal self-development and where to start. And now we've just introduced a self-development starting point external. Also, by taking control over areas of your life that don't work for you anymore, gives you that feeling of taking control over your anxiety. And now you can start to challenge your old subconscious thought habits, which will further empower you, motivate you, and overall start to build your self-esteem and confidence up again. Furthermore, the observational approach allows you to see things more realistically, rather from a fearful perspective, which can be based on having a lack of control over something, someone or a situation. By using the journal notes allows you more understanding on how your day-to-day life is structured, so please just try it. I know you may seem slightly apprehensive, But just give it some time, and I think you will be pleasantly surprised at how effective observing your own life can be in gaining in-depth knowledge about yourself, who you are, your likes and dislikes, what triggers your emotions, and what situations and environments support you or go against you, and what makes you feel happy and sad. Therefore, just by using the technique such as the diaphragmatic and box breathing will massively enhance your self-awareness, self-development, self-healing, and minimize your anxious symptoms physically and emotionally. And by using the second technique will allow you to understand your environment and how you can make that environment more nurturing to suit your needs. Okay, so let's recap on the key points that I want you to take home from this presentation. First, I recommend that you complete the diaphragmatic and box breathing meditation technique daily, which you can access for free on my YouTube channel at Selfcoachinguk. Second, start the observational journal process to track your emotions, thoughts, environment, and behaviour, which will then allow you to make changes to areas of your life that are not serving you positively. Although for the first week or so, don't try and analyse or observe any patterns within your data that you've wrote in the journal. Just commit to reading the journal at the end of each day, so you can start to visualise how your day has been from a collective perspective. After a week or so, you can then start to use the observational process to observe your emotions and how they influence or how they're influenced throughout the day, and how your thoughts and environments can start to then predict some of your behaviour and so on. Also, now you can start to become more familiar with your own self-dialogue, and you're also starting to now understand where the issues may be coming from. This might be a good time now for you to reach out to a doctor, maybe get some more advice on what options you have to help you overcome your issues, or you can even hire a life coach. Or again, you can jump over to selfcoachinguk.co.uk and complete the Biopsychosocial course on mastering anxiety, which will give you the most up-to-date descriptive information on anxiety, the most up-to-date interventions that are being used within psychology, and teach you how to implement them into your life personally. This course is an in-depth course, so it may take some time to complete, but by the end of it, you will have a massive amount of knowledge and understanding to why anxiety is affecting you the way that it is and the best way for you to overcome it. So pop over to the website, have a look at the sample lesson, the content pages, and see what you think. Okay everyone, thank you so much for watching the presentation. I hope that these two strategies serve you well in your journey of self-development. I wish you all the best, my friend. Take care and God bless.